Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Creative Conundrums. We are here today with Rafi, one of my friends back in Berkeley. He's still in the Bay Area right now. But yeah, do you want to just start off, give yourself like an introduction to somebody who has no idea who you are?
Yeah, sure. My name is Rafi. I'm currently a mechanical engineer in the Bay Area at a startup. At least that's what I am in the daytime, but in the nighttime,
That 9 to 5.
in the 9 to 5, on the weekends at nights, I like to make visual content about travel and figuring out my life in the 20s and just using a camera and documenting life. In a nutshell, that's what I am. The goal is just to live a creative life where I provide value in any way that I can that reflects my current struggles and problems and how I see life. So yeah, it's been a privilege to be able to do that.
That was very profound. I'd like to say before I move on, dang. I love that. That's something you write on like a tattoo or something. That was really good. That was really good.
Freestyling. It was freestyling.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So how did you start off in like your creative journey? How did that like begin for you?
It started when back in 2016, like senior year of high school, when I watched YouTube and I saw that these YouTube creators who were just regular people, they were able to use their camera, like their consumer grade cameras, not like the cinema grade cameras, and they were able to create movies that looked like Hollywood movies, like videos that looked like movies. And I realized that, oh, maybe I could do that too, because they were relatively accessible cameras. It was like back in the A7S2 days. I mean, I couldn't afford an A7S2 back in the day, but it looked like just another camera that I could just buy from the store. So that made it seem accessible. So I wanted to have a go at it, and so I went to college and then got my first camera, the A6000, and then I started to take photos and videos of more of just when I travel, because I tend to, I like traveling. So I just brought my camera. It was a good reason to take photos of friends, videos of friends, and kind of evolved from there, at least over time. I think in 2021, at least in photography, I tried to take it more seriously, because that's when it really became something that I liked a lot more than back when I was just trying it out, because I took a trip to New York like during spring break that year, and I started getting into street photography and really capturing everyday life. And I treated street photography a lot as just capturing little trophies, as in I treat like whenever I take a really interesting shot that only happens once, that's like a little trophy that I get. And those moments where I can capture something that can never happen again really was special to me. And that translated into videography as well, like being able to shoot, like when I'm traveling, just be able to shoot different parts of life that happen and see things unfold and be able to capture it in my own eyes. And the thing that keeps me going, and what I love the most about this art form, is that it makes places and people seem a lot more beautiful than they really are. Like when I take pictures of people, they think, oh wow, I didn't know I looked that good. Or like when I travel and take photos of places or videos of places that are just mundane, then it ends up looking a lot better than it really is. So that's why I love this craft so much.
I feel for people who have been in this space a really long time, it's like such like an innocent approach, or like in terms of like a lot of the professionals that are in like the scene are like so weathered and so jaded, and they're so much affected by the consumerism, the capitalism behind like all the camera stuff, right? That they just don't think about like those like small things of like, yeah, like this is just a moment, or like, yeah, this is just like, this is my friend, in front of me, and like I'm recording them in the now for me to share with them and like appreciate this like image or like whatever, like later on, that kind of thing. So like I like that take on it. It's just it's like so pure. There you go. That's the best one, I think. It's so pure, and like I love that. You know what I mean? Everybody experiences that once, and then I feel like it goes away. But then whenever you hit moments where like you said, when you're traveling, or whenever you take a portrait of a friend and you show it to them, when you reach that pureness again, it's so refreshing. You're like, oh shoot, like this is what I'm here for. I forgot.
I think it's the privilege of just having it be a hobby and not a job. I think when it's a job, it becomes so like repetitive and
toxic.
Yeah, it gets toxic. Yeah, it gets consumed by the demands of the consumerism or the capitalism, right? Yeah, but it's just a hobby for right now. That's why I think that's why I'm still pretty pure for now.
But you're kind of going into it. But like, how does this hobby of yours kind of integrate within your day to day? Does it seep towards like your normal work or how you see things? Do you think like you offer a different perspective because, you know, you do this outside of work and it lets you see things in a different way?
I've been really wanting to say that it does improve my engineering skills, but I can't find an explicit reason, and it's been just over the years I've tried to justify, oh, you know, if I make art in this way, it'll help me as an engineer in certain ways, but I don't think there's an explicit connection there. But I think implicitly, being a user of the camera, like in photography or videography, and trying to find patterns, aesthetic patterns in day-to-day life, you pay more attention to little details, little symmetries, little patterns that, you know, the perfect framing. At least when you use the camera, that's like what you're trying to achieve. And I think that might be translating into how I visually treat my work, because, you know, in my work, at least in engineering, mechanical engineering is very physical and as a result also visual. So when I guess design things for my job, then I have that, you know, aesthetic element in mind as well. It's not very strong. I don't think it justifies like getting a job at a big company, or it doesn't. It's just like a little detail, and that just visual appreciation for the scene, the visual parts of your product. I think it's nice to have, and I guess more explicitly, because I can use the camera, I've actually been asked to like take photos and videos at my company. So like on my company website, all the photos and videos you see are taken by yours truly.
Hey, let's go!
It's like a little added, like, you know, little value added, and of course having more skills than just the bare minimum is always such a. It's just going to help propel your skill set and make you more valuable to whoever you work for. So yeah, that's at least professionally, that's that's connected to my job. And like, but like day-to-day life, it's nice that, you know, you're the guy who gets to take photos of people because people know you take good photos. And yeah, just paying more attention. Like, I think that's the thing about photography, is paying more attention is so valuable, and you get to really like pull out your camera because you know like that person's lining up, person's walking across the street with the light rays, and then you just notice those things, and then you capture it, and then people don't notice it until you take a photo, and then it's just people just see things that they can never see, and it opens their eyes. So it's,
yeah, there's so much power in it, you know.
Cool, yeah.
What inspires you in the work that you do, that you produce? You know, does it come from, you know, other artists? Does it come from, you know, just interactions with other people, with friends, or like your life? Like what does inspiration mean to you?
Actually comes a lot from music, I think. I want to bring up this. I remember we back in the day, like go back to our college days. We went. I remember this one time you were interviewing me for a PBL. Remember that thing?
Holy shit! What, dude? Okay, this is a long time ago.
This is the Lorenzo Raffi lore. So
wow.
When you were interviewing me as a, I don't know what that
some
was.
member thing.
Some member of a thing. I eventually got rejected. I remember that.
Oh
rejected
no!
Me. It was okay. It was like, it was all good.
It was for the better.
For the better. But this one question you asked me, I always remember this. But you asked me like, why do you lean more towards like photography or videography, and why? And at the moment, I couldn't answer. I didn't have a good question for it. I didn't have a good answer for it. But you know, I kept thinking about it over the years, and I think it's the music, because like in video you can really put music into play, and you could instill a greater emotion with an element of sound and music. And so I think that is where a lot of my inspiration comes from. For like I can't make a video work without music. Like for a lot of like these short cinematic reels that I make, like it doesn't work without the music or the sound. And that's what inspires me a lot, and that's just from, you know, what I'm listening to in the moment, like what music I like. I like a lot of EDM and, you know, electronic beats, as well as just also like R&B and pop, but and also even not just those popular songs, but also just soundtracks to movies, and
true.
Just, you know,
sound
scores,
effects, things like that. Yeah,
sound
definitely.
effects, yeah, and just the day-to-day sounds. Like sometimes I hear random sounds and I'm like, damn, that's like, it's a nice sound. Like sound of I don't know, like a traffic like the pedestrian sign. Well,
true,
like,
yeah,
like that can be inspiring. And it just that's in the sound aspect of things. Also, of course, I watch other creators and movies, and I think for me, like other internet creators are maybe a bigger source of inspiration, because I consume more of like YouTube or Instagram these days, and a lot of their stuff is very inspirational, especially also because they're just, you know, regular people with, you know, nice cameras, FX like yourself, and then then they can make such nice content, and then that like makes me feel like, oh damn, I could do it, because I'm not, at least in terms of like reach of like what they can access, like I have the same access to like the things that they have, so maybe I can do that too. So that's where inspiration is, and of course movies, just like color grading and cinematography is always is cool. Yeah, it comes from everywhere. I can't really name like specifics really.
Just your life, yeah. You're just
it's just like
yeah.
I heard this one quote from one of my favorite YouTubers, YouTube creators, Gox. I don't know if you know Gox, GAWX.
I feel like I've seen it. I don't know.
He's really I highly recommend. He's like a super artist. One of his quotes is like, your inspiration is like you are a sponge, and once you're absorbing all this like, you know, liquids and water. Liquid is a kind of a weird way to put it, but all of this content is like everything you're absorbing as a sponge, and then once you like squeeze it out, that's like what you instill, like you're absorbing everything, and then you squeeze it out, and then that's like what your art is.
That's a good quote. That's a good quote.
Credit to Gox, not my quote.
True.
Yeah.
That's a good one to like live off of in terms of like, yeah, you're like, you know, living a unique life experience, and only you can represent that in your own way. And then like you said, since like we're all just normal people, and honestly, I feel like it's better that way. Like if we were all special, then like there's so much pressure, right? But like since we're all like, you know, we're just normal people going through our lives, and anybody has the potential to, you know, make something really awesome that can be placed in social media, and then, you know, affect the next person, and then the cycle kind of goes on.
Yeah, you're a product of your experiences.
True.
Yeah.
What is your attitude towards social media in general? I just want to pick your mind on that. And I guess my angle of it is like, there's a need for artists to have to present their work in like a public digestible form. Do you think that at times, you know, trends or things of that nature sort of box in what is accepted by people through social media?
Sometime last year, I watched some YouTube video about this, and I thought about this a lot, that when you're following trends, like think about it as the value you're bringing. Like if you're just following trends, you're just known as the guy who follows trends, and that's just like pretty shallow. But the artists who really stick out, like they're the ones who don't just follow trends, but they see like an artist, they like take inspiration from all these different very unique perspectives, like who you are. Like as a person on this planet, you are already like a product of something, a totally unique different set of skills and experiences that only you have. But just following trends, you're just kind of discounting that. Following trends is maybe like a good practice to have, just to like, you know, be in the game, start off, you know, because you need inspiration, right? You can't just make something from scratch, like totally unique from the get-go. But it's definitely not something that you should just stick towards forever. You should try to create content authentically and make art that's not following trends. In fact, I've been trying to do this myself, but not always. Like sometimes just being okay with no one seeing what you make.
That's a good
That's a hard thing to realize, but some very small example is like on Instagram, you tend to make reels. Like I would tend to make reels with like trending audio, just so like, oh, I'm like trying to follow the trend,
right, to see if it works.
But sometimes it's like, oh, music doesn't really vibe with me. Like I don't want to use that song. But sometimes using songs that are not trending and just, you know, doing whatever you feel like, just for the sake of like creating your art. In a sense, that'll be more authentic, and as a sense, you might be creating your own trend. Like maybe that's a possibility, but you could create your own trend. So not all people who like trends were not always trends in the beginning. You know, someone had to make them. So
did in the beginning.
And as a result, you have to, you know, stay creative and keep being authentic. That was quite a long-winded explanation, but that's
you hit
trends
it.
Trends are okay, but, you know, be authentic too, and be okay 100%. With not having people watch your stuff. But 100%. Also just don't make art that no one will ever want to see. So there's like I don't know. Like,
don't be shit.
Don't be shit. Yeah, don't don't be like mysterious and like never share your art.
The point that you made about like being okay with nobody seeing it is like that's so powerful because people you'd think like people know that, but it just shows that like sometimes people aren't in it for like the right reasons. They're not making it for themselves, right? It's not coming from the inside. They just like want to like see like that instant gratification of views or likes or things of that nature. But like if you're truly making this from your own story, from your own perspective for yourself, then like it's okay that nobody sees it because there's so many other factors, and it's just a microcosm in terms of things you can do. Like if you're really serious about it, you can like exhibit your work in local exhibitions, like local small exhibitions, things like that. There's so many other ways to have people view your work or show it to your friends. I don't know, like that kind of thing. Like social media isn't like the end all be all of like, hey, like this guy has a lot of likes. I mean, obviously he has a lot of likes for a reason, he makes good stuff, but like you can reach there through other venues. You're not going to instantly get 100K likes, you know what I mean? Like we all started from, like everybody started from nothing. So
yeah, do it for yourself first. Though definitely if you want to play the Instagram or social media game, then you have to follow certain like rules for it to be, catch the algorithm. But don't let that dictate every single thing you make, and try to go outside the bounds too, so that you can be true to yourself and not be a sellout, because no one likes sellouts.
Yeah, no one likes a sellout. Because like they're probably the people that you follow are popular because like they were the trendsetters.
Exactly.
Most likely.
Exactly. It applies to a lot of different art forms. Yeah. Does gear matter? I think gear matters to some extent. But if you do like buy gear, you have to really justify why you're buying the gear. So my story is I started out with the classic A6000, the Sony A6000, which is a very classic, very easy to use beginner camera. That was back in 2017. I was just starting off with the basics. Like I just start with whatever is beginner friendly, with the basics, no fancy log shooting, whatever. And that was enough for me, and I think that was good at that point in time. And then over the years I started to learn more and more about like how to color grade and like how gear limits that level of color grading, because I wanted to be better at color grading. So over time I upgraded my cameras to like access better
that kind of
profiles.
stuff.
That kind of stuff. So that and so I got the A6400 and then A6700, so I could get the S-Log 3. But overall, if I said that gear didn't matter, then like why would people upgrade their gear to all this really nice things, nice stuff? But I would say that it's very reckless to just go for the highest if you don't know what you're doing and if you can't justify it. I was almost gonna say, but no, you got the gig, right? You have the gig that requires it.
Yeah, exactly.
So
thank God.
Thank God. So you're not one of those reckless people, but I'd say it does matter, and like it's true for like even for music. I mean, we're gonna get to music soon, but like I dabbled in music production a little bit, and I think my progress was also like limited by the gear that I wanted to purchase, because I couldn't access like the software or the hardware that made me able to produce at a higher level. And though I think for video it's more accessible.
True.
You could do a lot more with spending less money than you can do on audio. Yeah, there you go.
iPhone it, right? Like, dude, it's crazy. It's crazy.
iPhone's just so good, especially with the iPhone 16 now.
Yeah, I tried it. I was like, what is happening? I was like, you just need storage, and then you can do some crazy stuff.
You just need storage. I mean, iPhone log. I've seen content with iPhone log. I'm like, I don't even need my Sony anymore if I have an iPhone 16. Like, it's just, you can do so much with it. If since we're talking about photography, like iPhones are just, I don't know, just next level. You can do so much with it. I mean, if you're just getting started with the basics, trying to do composition and just, composition, basic editing, that's all you need. iPhone, you can do a lot. I mean, a lot of YouTubers, content creators, they all just stick with iPhone and they produce really good content. I mean, iPhones are so good these days. You can already do so much.
I remember when I first started, like, I was fully on the like gear doesn't matter because I was broke. So gear like like I had to be like that way. But I think it
Yeah.
was good, like you said, because like those restricting factors helped you form the skills that you have. And then now coming upon a little bit of money, now I'm like in between. I'm not fully like it fully matters, but I think I'm in between because I am also still the person that's like, hey, it doesn't matter. Like you can still learn with whatever. Like you said, you're saying with the iPhone and stuff like that. And I also do photos. I still use my Canon 6D, like that, the old full frame camera. I think you've seen it a couple times. Like
Yeah,
she's like
yeah.
falling apart. Like the rubber is coming off. I still use that for like pretty like for all my most of my photo work. You can do a lot with with not much. And
Yeah,
also, I think the biggest thing is that it's a flex. I think I personally like to flex that. Hey man, I can still make this like cool shit with a piece of shit. Yeah.
There you go. I love that quote. I'm gonna remember that forever. like here's like as we were talking about the whole like engineering analogy. This is also like true for engineering because I like in my at my startup we started off with like not so much money, right? And so we had to be very frugal and be very we couldn't do a lot of the fancy stuff with a limited budget. And now that we're getting more funding, like we're not used to like spending so much money and like getting the nicer things.
It feels reckless, right? It feels wrong, right?
It feels wrong, right? Because like, I just want to deal with the cheaper manufacturing technique, or like make something with less. I don't know, this lower fidelity. But when you have the opportunity, like you're not used to it, but that's when you can actually make higher impact and more value. And another example that's like maybe like easier to digest maybe for people is like let's say like spreadsheets. Like spreadsheets are like so like ubiquitous. So you can make anything. You can do anything from with spreadsheets.
Blank
But
sheet, yeah.
let's say you want to track your finances with a spreadsheet. You totally can do that, but it's such a pain to manage over and over again. It's free, but you have to manage it with so much effort. But then there's just like more expensive ways to track your money or your customer base or other things.
True.
And that's where you can really like free your mind and you can focus on other things. But it's like the budget, you can do stuff, you can unlock all this understanding with smaller constraints, but eventually you want to move on to greater things.
How did you start getting into? I mean, you always like music, so I guess this was like a natural flow. But yeah, just like talk through like how you just got into the DJ space and like how does that creativity contrast with taking pictures, things like that. I don't know.
Yeah. So my venture into electronic music predates my interest in photography and videography. Actually,
This is the real one.
This is the original, the OG one, the OG hobby. Back in high school or something like that, when I tried to like make music, because I thought, it's similar in how I got into videography. Because in videography I found creators who were able to make content that looked really good with just the minimum equipment. And I thought the same way for music, because I heard music that seemed pretty simple, and I thought, I just needed a FL Studio and I could make music. I'm like, damn.
Oh yeah, I do remember using FL Studio as like in high school of like, I can do stuff with it. Yeah.
Everyone has their FL Studio origins.
Yeah.
And it's fun. It's such a cool concept, and I felt like, if it's just a software, I can just learn it and I can do it, and I can like DJ it to all over the world.
Yeah.
My biggest inspiration back then was Kygo. Do you know Kygo?
Oh shit! Of course, dude. Come on.
Yeah. Kygo's like the main inspiration. So that's why I started. I first dabbled into music production. That's like where I got started. Not DJing, but music production was. I made music here and there for like many years, just like loosely. It was fun, but then
Drop the SoundCloud.
the SoundCloud it's Waffless, WAFFLOUS. If you I think my very first song was like it's still on there. But it never really took off because I honestly didn't take it that seriously. Like I could have like really
Playing around.
sent my music to more like blogs, or I could have really tried to like produce more songs and really try to take it to the next level and network. But I never had the I guess
capacity, time, whatever.
The time, of course, and the desire was just not there. And then I eventually was like, I think a few years ago I was like, I don't think I want to really pursue it like as a big hobby, because I mean, electronic music and DJing is synonymous with like nightlife, and I'm not really about nightlife. I don't want to promote
Yeah.
nightlife and that kind of lifestyle, even though it's fun. But I don't want to be like an icon of it, so I didn't pursue it. I wanted to shift more towards this video stuff, and
It's
that's
calmer.
more,
Yeah.
yeah, it's calmer. It's more, I think, also like when I hang out with people who are into music more, I don't know, I don't feel like myself really. I feel like the social circles are not really kind of me.
So not- yeah.
I love these people too, but I don't think it's me. I'm think I'm more of the camera guy more, so that's why I thought about that more. And then that was back then, and then so I dropped music for a while. I don't do it as much as I do anymore, as I do with video at least. But then, you know, I DJ here and there. Like I got into DJing separately from music production, because DJing is more like playing music, production is making music. So it's been like 3 years since I actually started trying to do it. I'm not trying to be someone like super good, so I can just have total fun with it. Like I know the basics, I know just how to do what I want. You know, my dream in the beginning when I was a teenager was trying to play music for like people who love the music too, and that's what I dreamed about when I was younger. Not like the huge stages in like, I don't know, Ultra Music Festival or Tomorrowland or Coachella, but even just for my friends, it was already satisfying. So yeah, that's my music journey. Started from hopeful dreams to struggling trying to make music and never taking it seriously enough to do well, and then now I'm just doing it very, very rarely, and I love it.
It sounds like a story of like maturing. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, it
It was
is.
like
Yeah.
you're like, oh, like the big dreamer kid, like, oh, and then you're like, well, it's not actually really for me. But then like you revisit it when you're like in your old sage days, like saying that we're saying old sages, right?
Yeah,
And now
yeah.
you're like, oh, I have a new appreciation for this. I have a new perspective. It provides, you know, a good time for my close community.
Provides a good time. I'm here for good times.
It's so cool though. Wait, so like, but the technicals of it is
Yeah.
like, you're just basically lining two tracks up that you pre-planned that go well into each other. Is that what like it is basically?
Yeah. The pre-planning is kind of controversial. I pre-plan it because I'm not that good of a DJ. I'm still very basic. But I think the really good DJs, they can just go. They know their songs so well, and they just, you know, mix them. They know what songs mix well, and then they just, you know, follow the vibe of the crowd. It's just seamless. But I like to treat it as a concert, and like, you know, I try to choose songs that I like. Actually, the technical aspect of it is probably the easy part, because you're just trying to find the same kind of BPM, match the BPM, match the beats, match the key, in a way that doesn't make it sound horrible. And then yeah, it's not like trying to like mix like on a Spotify playlist. You just go straight into the other song. Like that's
That crossfade, yeah.
yeah, crossfading. Yeah, that's a start. But there's like different genres as well. It's like it's such a deep hole that I haven't really gone that deep into. It's all about the energy of the crowd. I mean, I'm nowhere near
True.
like the level that the best DJs are, but I'm just trying to have fun with it and see, you know, play music for people, my friends, and just try to have a good time, you know.
What is the relationship between of travel in your life, and you know, how does that link to your creativity?
I think travel overall in my life keeps me humble, in a sense that traveling helps you understand how little you know about the world, and so especially to different cultures, because like, I mean, we're in this bubble wherever we're living, and then we go somewhere else and life is totally different. Life experiences that you can't comprehend, routines that you don't really know very well, and even for like national parks and more nature exploration, and you get to immerse yourself in a place that is real, and it's not a place where you can easily access things that you can usually do in a city, or just like the views, of course, you know, beautiful views. It's very special. when you're traveling, you experience things for the first time, and that's the key time to really be inspired by a certain location, because you're seeing things for the first time, and the little things that you would gloss over if you lived there are just so new to you, and it excites you, and hence it becomes something that you want to make something out of. Like, for example, you go to a very exciting place like New York City, and if you don't live there, like the little things like the subway signs or just how the city's laid out, the buildings, it's so fresh and new that you just can't help but try to romanticize it because
Yeah.
it's so new. I tend to romanticize places that I just travel to because they're so new and everything's so novel, and I can't help but try to capture everything and be inspired by it. Then I try to think about where I live or places that I don't think are as exciting, and those places are new to some people, but not to you. In a way, it's traveling is trying to train me to like notice the details that hopefully I can use to see places that I think are not as exciting, to make them look more, to romanticize them more. That's the hope. You always see like online like all these like really nice places like New York, Tokyo, I don't know, London. They're like, that's like the signature like travel content. But I want to strive towards like showing that all those like places, they share things in common with the boring places that maybe you and I live in and are not so extravagant.
There are pockets of beauty in everything.
Yeah, and
in new
everything.
places, old places, but like you said, not everybody has the presence of mind or the ability to have that presence to slow down, to observe those things, and you just want to provide that perspective to them of like hey, like, if you take a minute, there's something here, right? And like it's something that you should appreciate, no matter if this is your first time here, or you've lived here for years, right? They're like these like pockets of romanticized moments, or like these perfect moments that you're trying to capture.
Yeah, romanticizing what you have, I think.
Yeah, because it keeps it fresh. Yeah, it keeps.
It's a good way to keep life exciting and.
Yeah, true. Keep life exciting. Keep going, because if
Keep
not,
going, yeah.
then like there's no reason. You're just like you become
Yeah,
like corporate slave and that kind of thing. Yeah.
Because then you just want to just look forward to a big thing, but the beauty is around you.
Yeah, and it's a really good way to like combat really easy feeling that everyone gets of escapism, of just like, oh, like I'd rather be in a different place, right? I'd rather do
Yeah.
something else. But
Yeah.
you're like, hey, like there's something here, or like your day to day, it may seem mundane, but if you look at it a different way, or
Yeah.
just literally like maybe turn around, or like literally like look down or look up, right? Like there's
Yeah.
like you're something that you're missing.
Yeah, it's all about paying attention. That's what photography is all about. It's easier to do when you're traveling because
Yeah.
everything's so new. But if it was easier to notice it in your day-to-day life, then you've unlocked the level of romanticizing, and you can truly enjoy life.
So this is my overarching like concluding question that I give to
Sure.
most people of,
Okay.
where do you see yourself, professionally, creatively, maybe like travel wise, whatever, in like 5-10 years, what dreams do you hope to accomplish? Like, where do you want to be? What do you want to do? Do you want to make this like certain piece of work? And at the same time, do you have any regrets about your pathway at this point? There's something like, there's something that I could have only done then, and I missed out on that. So it's a kind of looking to the future, but then also
Ooh.
reflecting on the past kind of question as
Forward and backwards.
the ending sort of thing.
10 years from now, I definitely want to be a billionaire living in a mansion, in Beverly.
Oh yeah.
No, that's like no, I'm not about that. I don't really think about this 10-year plan in the future as specific as
Some people, yeah.
some people would. Because I don't think it's worth like going with the details, because it might, what you want might change. But what I do want in general is a life that I can provide value to a lot of people. I don't know in what way, but
Same. I agree
positive
with that.
value, and still continue to create art that inspires me and inspires other people, and somehow be able to blend them together so the value and art go hand in hand. I don't know in what way. I mean, I'm just trying to explore videography and content creation as one way, but that might change in 5 years, 10 years.
Definitely.
But that's the underlying theme. I don't know about the specifics. I mean, for the next year, I want to double down on more video content and practicing my storytelling through video.
Yeah.
That's what I would love to do, and I think, it's a slow process because I have the 9 to 5 job, anyways. So I'm pacing it sustainably, and I think that's
That's what
healthy.
matters. Yeah.
I think I'm doing it in a way that I can handle. I'm not pushing myself too hard.
Yeah.
Not
Not
burning,
burning
out.
out. Yeah. Don't want to burn out.
Yeah. And yeah, that's for the next year. That's what it is. And yeah, for the 10 years, I don't know how it'll be, but that's what I said before is what I see myself doing.
You have a good
And
mantra. That's for sure.
yeah, and I also want to get into maybe the idea of like quitting your job and like pursuing the creative life.
Oh yeah.
As a, and that's like, it comes up a lot, and people try to like, oh, do YouTube and quit your job, or like be an influencer and quit your job. I personally don't think I would like to leave my engineering job or career behind in pursuit of just full-time creative work, because one, the stability is nice, stability, and two is being separated from your main income, your creative work and your income. It's quite liberating because you don't have to sell out to make stuff.
Yeah.
At least from what I understand. And a third point, if I did leave my my engineering job and I went full-time creative, I have a very strong feeling that if I did full-time creative work, whether that be like, I don't know, being a headlining DJ worldwide tour, or
Hey.
or like a filmmaker somewhere making short movies or whatever, I think that I would try to get engineering and all that stuff back as a hobby. Like I would always have
It would reverse. Yeah.
it would reverse. Like engineering would be my hobby. I would try to do 3D printing projects or mechatronics on the side, because I just
There's just two facets of your life that are just intertwined.
I just doing that, yeah. And if I wanted one to be a job that I kind of like don't like, because I feel like a job you can't like always, you have to kind of like have some kind of love-hate relationship, and you kind of have to like, hate it
100%.
at some points. I would rather hate engineering than hate my art, and that's how maybe I can
That's a big one, yeah.
maintain this like pure perspective. So for full time, just because he had to travel so much for his content and his video work that having a tech job wasn't sustainable anymore. Maybe that's why I would leave, but I enjoy my current lifestyle. I mean, I have enough PTO to like travel, and
There you go.
that's it's been a
It's a luxury.
great,
Yeah.
it's been a great luxury, and have the job there. I mean, that's easy to say because I have a job right now, but it's stability is also like not fully guaranteed, of course, as we know. But right now I'm enjoying my work engineering wise, and I'm enjoying my creative work, and I want to keep it that way for a while. It seems like a healthy balance, and I don't see why I would change it yet, at least at this level of.
But like a lot of people don't get to hear the story of just normal life. We only we only get to hear stories of like the best of the best, or like somebody who's breaking the mold, and like those are inspiring in some way. But then also it's like I can only relate to a certain extent of that, because I get lost in the sauce of like that's not me. You know what I mean? Like that's not my reality of life. I take public transport to like to my office, and then sit there for like 8 hours, like grab lunch and then go home, and then I'm like super tired, so sometimes I can't take like that's a lot of people, right?
Exactly,
But like nobody gets to hear that, because everybody sees like I quit my job to travel full time. It's like that's so daunting. I have like I have a family, you know, that kind of thing, or like that,
Yeah,
that kind of
student
stuff.
loans
Yeah,
and all
yeah,
that.
exactly. Loans and
Yeah.
like, oh my god, like, shit, I can barely like rent's like so expensive in the
Dude,
Bay, and like,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that's true. The extremes are so like attractive. It's like attractive content.
and they're always highlighted, and
it's always highlighted, and it's like standouts. But in the regular life, it's low key underrated.
yeah, no, it is because it's
Yeah.
like it's less pressure that way. I think, you know,
It's less
like
pressure.
you're not required to be special. You're just required to, you know, be a good person, and like I feel like that's what, you know, this is highlighted. But in a sense, you're just like a lot of people like we're just trying to leave, like you and me, we're just trying to lead like good lives where like we affect the people closest around us in positive ways, and like we're just building
Yeah.
like a good community in a sense, you know. We're just trying to find our way through the mess, through the maze in a sense.
I would say though, yeah, it's good to live a life of balance, but I think when you want to reach a certain level of, greatness, then the sacrifices.
That's when it's time. Yeah,
That's when it's time. But do I really want that? Do you really want that? It's
you have to think about it, definitely.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, you gotta try it to feel like to see whether
If you could do it, yeah. I
Whether-
mean, yeah. If you have the
yeah.
avenue to try it, then
Yeah.
you have to. I think.
I watched some YouTubers or podcasters talk about this topic about greatness and just trying to, be the very best at something. It really like is taxing. Of course, you have to make a lot of sacrifices. Like let's say you're trying to be the, I don't know. There was an example on the podcast was like a heavyweight champion or like weightlifting,
Yeah.
and it was just they try to be better every time. They try to beat the previous record every time, and it becomes such a toxic cycle of trying to always be better than the rest, and becoming the best is like such a it takes a life out of you.
Yeah, it consumes you. Yeah.
But if you just want to be like good, like pretty good, and like you can settle for like third. I mean, you won't be the very best, but being the best is like the cost of it. Can you handle that? And so you're being like pretty good.
Yeah, and like you're good in like your community, in your space, right? You're the best
Yeah.
in like your small group, and
Yeah.
like, that's
You can define your own success, and maybe that's the way to live life. And, to each their own, but that's just I want to make sure to consider both perspectives of like
That's true.
You can live a good life or a great life, but you gotta consider the costs.
yeah, because like you're right, like greatness consumes you. It affects like all facets of your life. Like if you
Yeah.
push yourself to that max, like
Yeah.
you always see like the people who, like mentally they're like in shambles or whatever. Like they can't have like a normal human interaction type of thing, and you're like
Exactly.
what happened? Like what the cost of that? Like oh my god,
yeah,
like
I mean, your soul is just taking.
yeah, like I'll stay mid.
stay mid. Stay mid.
That's the whole thing is stay mid, guys. It's okay. Mediocrity is okay.
Mediocrity is underrated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah. Damn.
And we'll leave it at that. It's okay to be mid. Stay mid,
okay.
everybody.
It's okay to be. I actually also wouldn't super like support that too, because you gotta try to like push your boundaries, but
Yeah, I know.
not too much. Like kind of like be upper mid, like
True, true.
be above average. But
Like
but
try, but it's okay to fail. There you go. It's okay to
Yeah,
fail
yeah,
and then
try.
be okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
be good at, be really good at what you think is good enough, and then that's like you can have everyone define what their good enough is. Yeah, try hard, and if you find out that you're trying too hard and you reach your limit, then you kind of know what your limit is, and like, oh yeah, I'm okay with a bit less.
Economies of yeah. Scale. yeah.
I'm okay with not touring the world as a DJ. I'll just do it for my friends. That's
True.
fine with me. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're happy and I'm happy.
Yes.
I don't
Yeah,
gotta
that's it.
That's it. We did it.
That's it.
We
Wait,
we solved
did it.
we solved the
we
problems
solved
of life.
we solved the meaning of life. The meaning of life has been answered. So I'm just gonna share this photo,
Yeah, dude.
and hopefully and I'll share the sound. Okay, it's just a screenshot of you as an enthusiastic member of the crowd. Okay,
Holy shit.
so okay, hopefully the sound will share. Do you hear it?
Yeah. Glimpse of us.
Yeah. Okay. So we're just
She'd take the world off my shoulders
starting off.
if it was ever hard to move.
Yeah, just the regular old song.
You know, Joji, shout out.
Shout out
We
Joji.
need him. Where is he? Where is he? Where'd he go?
Where did Joji go?
Bruh.
Damn. Miss you, Joji. Also, random throwback, but we were at the same Head in the Clouds that one year.
Oh, dude.
2022.
Oh my.
Yeah,
That was 2022, right?
yeah, 2022. Yeah,
Damn.
yeah.
I
That
don't
was a
think
good
I,
one.
yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one.
Yeah,
I wish I went to the 2023 one.
that one was good. They had Nikki there too. I remember. She could make it to the 2022.
Yeah,
one.
exactly.
So sad. Are you going this year? Are you going this year?
I'm. If I save up.
Okay.
I'm trying. I'll let you know.
Okay. Here's the
It's
mix is
supposed to
coming
happen.
up soon.
Supposed to happen? All right, bet.
Okay. You gotta wait.
Hey, oi!
Yeah.
And we're like, everyone's crying, but then they're like kind of getting lit now.
Yeah. Dancing and crying.
That's a rave. That's literally just a rave.
Yeah. This is some Head in the Clouds type
It
shit.
kind of is.
Yeah. Yeah. Got the Joji
Yep.
time X.
Rose Bowl,
Porter,
let me hear
Porter
you,
Robinson.
Rose Bowl.
LA.
Bowl. LA. Aye.
Yeah. Do you know this
Now-
other song? You know this? You know this song? The
No,
other
I don't.
song?
What did you mix it
It's
with?
it's Porter Robinson.
Oh.
Yeah. He's also gonna be at
Yeah,
Head
he
in
is
the
gonna be
Clouds.
Head in the Clouds, yeah.
Yeah. This is the ultimate Head in the Clouds mix. For the ABGs. We go
You're
crazy.
not wrong.
They're gonna go crazy.
Yep.
Let's go.
Oh! Can you feel it, Miami? All the lights. I'm gonna put lights. When I edit this, I'm gonna-
Disco light, disco
Yeah.
lights. Put some Head in the Clouds as well. Put
I'm
some
gonna
Head
do
in
it,
the
I'm gonna
Clouds
do it,
stage.
That's gonna be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Man, he cooked.
Let's go.
He cooked.
Yeah, the idea for this mix came up in the shower one day. I was like, oh, damn, these two songs actually mix together pretty well.
That's where the best ideas come from.
Dude, the shower.
In the shower.
In the shower.
Or taking a shit.
Taking it. Yeah, that too. That too.
Oh. It's gonna be a sick outro.
Yeah, it's like a goodbye. Goodbye to a world. Song's called Goodbye to a World.
Oh.
Oh, here we go.